The Marksman is a new Liam Neeson action movie playing in theaters, which is the second Liam Neeson movie, uh, action movie that has been released during a pandemic, which is crazy. He pumps one of these generic action movies out all the time. So, this video is going to contain mild spoilers for this movie. It's playing in theaters, and I'm not really sure if it's available to rent digitally because I saw it in the theater. I didn't rent it. And it's I'm gonna have mild spoilers for this movie. So if you don't want to hear that, I'm gonna keep it to the end. But just know that if you want to skip over that part, I will give you a warning. But overall, I think the mild spoilers won't ruin your experience of this movie. And I'm gonna state something right out of the gate. I am not the target audience for this movie. And this movie is people who just like generic action movies and they like Liam Neeson because he's a charismatic actor. Charismatic doesn't necessarily mean good. It means that they have charisma, which is a good thing to have, but it doesn't mean you're giving a great or good performance. And so, I don't care for Liam Neeson. I like action movies, but I like well-made, good ones. And I don't see these movies as that. And, if you like other Liam Neeson movies, if you like movies of this style, you will love this movie. So just go watch it. I honestly, you'll love it. You'll go watch it. But overall, I did not like this movie. I didn't like it for the fact that this movie is number one, very generic. But it also simplifies a lot of the issues going on at the border. This movie is about an older gentleman played by Liam Neeson who ends up caught in between this mother and her son trying to escape through the border from the cartels, and so he ends up taking care of this boy, and that's the movie. They go on a road trip for him to take care of these boys, and it simplifies a lot of those issues. And I get it. This isn't a political trying to be that super political movie, but you are kind of dealing with a political subject that is in great debate, and I think it's a kind of scummy how much they simplified the events in this movie and stuff about the border, and I felt to some degree at some points they sympathize with the cartels a little bit too much, which I did not like at all. I think that was a big issue with this film. But I'll talk about that more when I get into more mild spoilers, which is now. So if you don't want mild spoilers for this movie, click off now. So the reason I said they sympathize too much with the cartels is because there is a scene where the leader who is chasing him this whole movie, he says he didn't have a choice in becoming a member of the cartels. And he was kind of like a kid drafted into it. And I'm like, not all the people who are part of that are dragged into it. So I felt like that was kind of like, they're trying to make you see sympathy through this, but it's like, you're a dude who is snapping people's necks to get what you want, and a lot of those necks didn't need to be snapped in this movie. It's a pretty brutal movie for a PG-13 movie. He's chasing a kid and trying to kill a kid. Am I supposed to sympathize with you? In that scene he does end up killing himself, but it's kind of like, which is off screen, but it's kind of like, it's weird how this movie tries to be so PG-13, because it's like, this shouldn't be a PG-13 movie. You're dealing with the cartels. It's a violent thing. It's a violent thing to talk about. And, you could tell that a lot of this movie was very simplified, probably because they wanted that PG-13 audience, which I think is sad because this does not need to be PG-13. This should have been an R. And I think another thing that really bothered me about this is Liam Neeson is always kind of this character who's invincible, but in this movie is very apparent because basically there's a moment where his car breaks down and he goes to the shop to fix it, and the guy goes, well, I guess I have to get a new part. It might take a day or two. And he goes, well, I can't wait that long. He goes, well, maybe I can get it running for you to go wherever you're going. It's like, so every scenario where he has a stump in the road, he gets out of like 2 minutes later. And I think that's very bad writing, and it's very coincidental. And it's very irritating. It's a bad style of writing. It's very lazy and cheap, and I think it should be better writing for that reason. But overall, this film, it was like a meh movie. Like, I don't think them sympathizing with the cartels was that big of an issue with the movie that it ruined the whole movie. But it was just like, it did come across a little bit odd because, and again, I don't like how they simplified the issues with the border. And I'm not someone who super closely pays attention to a lot of that stuff, but it feels like they were trying to make people look like idiots. Like when there's a scene where one of the guys gives him a badge, or not a passport that looks nothing like the dude, and the border patrol will just let anybody into the country without even thinking, and it's like, no, I mean, I feel like a lot of that stuff was so simplified and so dumbed down, like, ha, border patrol's stupid. It's like, and yeah, there is a lot of issues with a lot of that stuff, but I think the way they simplified it just wasn't good. This is a topic that is in so much debate. Simplifying it and turning it into a dumb action movie, it's probably not the best call, at least right now, anyways. Maybe in a future later on, maybe, but this is a topic that's in great debate. Sorry this video got political, but this movie is talking about something that is somewhat political, so I had to talk about it, and how I felt the movie addressed it. So I think this wasn't that good of a movie, but if you like Liam Neeson action movies, you'll enjoy it and have a fun time.